Hey everybody, Brad Linder coming at you again with another card. We're going to be doing two back-to-back with about a 5-minute break in between of the episodes of the show tonight because I'm going to be doubling up for today and tomorrow. So uh, what we're going to do is I'm going to shave this down a little bit and I'm going to color this one out, and then we're going to take about a 5 or 10-minute break, and then I'm going to come back for another episode. And just want to help get the sketchbook moving along a little faster, even though I'm going to keep continuing doing daily episodes. So I'm going to share this over with the page real quick so that we can make sure everybody can see it, and on Facebook and on YouTube. So we're going to share that over, and then I'm going to get started on this bad boy and knock it out. So that's what we're doing right now. Beautiful. Okay, cool. Now, I'm going to be doing this one pretty basic. Going to be using a 000 as a base coat for Gravity Girl's face here for her flesh tone. I want to do this kind of an awkward pink tinge to it rather than a deeper flesh tone. I want it to have a grayer, pinker tinge, like a rose color. And the reason that I want that is because of the fact that with this particular character, she has a little bit more of an awkward complexion. She's not a true Earth bound human. She is of other planetary origins, just like the rest of the guys are in the team, Meteor Man and so on. Because what's going to happen here is she's going to have a kind of a higher, softer complexion. It's a little bit lighter, and in my opinion, it's a very graceful look, and it has a classic 60s milky skin look of the models of the time for Caucasian women. And now I'm going to go in with this 000 and give it that very light tone to it. But whenever she comes up, whenever this dries, it'll have a beautiful eggshell kind of look to it, and it'll look really, really rich. And for that look of the 60s attribute, I want it to be kind of soft. So I'm going to keep it really, really clean in here. Very, very subtle, and not oversaturate with this thing, because I don't want it to look like she has a horrible tan. I don't want it to look like a spray tan kind of thing. Not that a tan's not cool. I love tan skin. It's just, it's one of those things where if you overdo this type of technique, you'll end up washing it out, and you'll have this really awkward tinged look. And it'll look kind of like when someone overtans in a spray salon, and it comes out orange or like really, really bright cocoa brown and strange. It just depends on your skin color too, but still, so hey Johnny, glad you made it, man. Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. So Johnny just made the comment, if you guys can't see that on Facebook, that she's not a Kardashian, so she's not going to have that spray tan look, which they're highly known for. And that's cool if that's your thing. I'm not knocking it. It's just personally not a preference for me. So I don't want to be walking around like a big pumpkin or any other kind of bright, colorful vegetable at this point. So I'm just trying to keep it balanced, keep it in check, and keep it with the rhythm of the figure. So now these numbers on her chest are blacked out completely for the most part in the animated series and in the comics that she appears in. I personally like making everything have a little more depth to it and a little more pop, as it were. So I outlined them and made them three-dimensional, like on a modern jersey. And I'm sure they would have done that too. Hanna-Barbera was like cutting edge back in the 60s and all the way through the 80s when they stopped making all their classic style cartoons. So their three-dimensional look and dynamics on their characters was always, even in two-dimensional animation like they did, it was just phenomenal. And I'm still a huge fan of it till this very day. So I'm going to use a smoky gray on that to darken it down, and we're going to make that pop out a little bit. I think that'll be an interesting look. Right up to the edge here, and if I go over it so wet, because I'm going to gray it out. But trying to keep my practice of keeping clean lines and keeping it simple. So I want to keep this very clean here. Make sure it's all purple, filled in, solid, rich color. Very cool. Okay. Now, I didn't remember doing this, but when I drew it, but I shaded in back behind her here. And I think that's because I'm going to do the hair that goes down behind her. I wasn't sure why I lined it, though, but I did. But anyway, I put in that gradation, and there we have it. So, but that'll be part of her hair. I'll just shadow it out. So there we go. There's the primary purple. Now, while I'm letting that dry, I'm going to go in and do the hair color. I'm going to do two things here. I'm going to take it for a base coat, like this. She's going to have bright red hair, but I'm going to make it auburn with a really cool matching brown shadow side. So I think that'll look really, really good. So we're going to see how this works out. Okay. Getting this hammered down here, section by section. Like I said, I want to keep it really clean because this is a watercolor pen here. This is a little bit different. It's an Artist Loft watercolor marker, and I have to be very cautious with it because it will bleed the inks, and it will also run amok and run all over the place. So I have to keep rotating it, keeping it very light and soft, keeping it moving, and not letting it drown my card. Okay. Go right along this fine line here. Rotate a little more so we don't get heavy. I'm going to go back up and meet that hair there in the middle, like that. Man, this is a bright, flamboyant red. Just intense. Okay. You got to give Artist Loft the Bright Color Award, definitely. You gotta give them credit for that because these colors are just like amazingly rich. Very, very cool. Their primary colors are awesome. Their extended colors, not so much. They're a little weak. But their primary colors, their yellows, their oranges, their reds, their blues, really, really strong. Okay, cool deal. Now I'm going to give her a second to dry there. And I'm going to go in with this pink here. Yeah, I'm using different types, man. That's an Artist Loft. It's a different brand. I'm using Copics here and Artist Loft. I like mixing the mediums because it gives a more vibrant look to it, because it pulls out hues in the crossing over. This gives it an electric look because this gives it more of a warmer fabric look in the contrast, in the texture, and this gives it more of a wet look, so it looks more organic, like slick hair. So I mean, it's just a variation, but the finished product is amazing because if you mix these mediums, they pop off like nothing else. And I like using Prismacolors with them as well. The pencils, I'll even go in over the top of the markers with the pencils sometimes. It's just amazing what you can do with these. And I use these mixes in the comics a lot. In my Lone Rider comic that I've got coming out, where I hand color most of that, I do a lot of different mediums on that to give it that look that I have. Um, it has a 70s, 80s hand painted or hand colored comic feel to it, and that's what I want it to have. But yet it has a European edge to it where it's got just enough of a texture to the finished product. You're sitting there wondering, well, how the heck did he do that, or how the heck did he, get those colors on there? He being me, and the reason for that is because of the fact of the way I colored it. So, and I did it that way on purpose because I wanted to give it that 70s, 80s feel, and while still making it look modern and contemporary. So that's the reason why. And I'm doing the same thing with Night of the Living Dead. So, yeah. Okay. Let's see here. Gonna go small stroke right under here like that. Deeper contrast here. Right up on this side of the arm. Right there. Boom, done. Up under this side a little bit. Up under this hair. A little more contrast there. I think we'll work it out. Looks cool. Now I'm going to give her this very cool brown hue to the hair. And I'm going to go, first off, I want to do this one because I want it to match up in tone. I'm going to get this red down here to show off the back of the hair behind her because she has hair that goes way down her back. I want to make sure it holds up. Now I'm going to come in with this brown, which is the same as an Artist Loft as well. It's an Artist Loft brand. So I've got that going on as well. And then we're going to come in with this fine brush point, which I love the points on these. But like I said, they up, see, right there on the tip of her chin. I got too close. I'll have to ink that edge right there just a little bit. But that'll give me the opportunity to show a cover up too, so that's cool. I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it. Art happens. I'm going to put that on a shirt. Art happens. I'm sure someone already has. Somewhere out there. Okay. Giving this just a little bit of a contrast here with this brown. I really dig it. Really, really dig it. Okay, cool deal. Come in on this side. That. Get that one nicked out. Come back up this side a little bit. Cool. And when you're doing this just on one side, you want to be careful to segment it once in a while on both to help break it up. Because you want it to have an edge, but sometimes you want it to have a top edge too, so it looks like it's, different depths. A lot of people don't do that. I personally like it. Okay. Pull that back up in there a little bit. Like that. Kind of doing the old school DC hair where it's segmented. It has highlights and darks throughout. There, cool deal. Now, I'm going to go back in here. She has brown eyes most of the time. Let me check real quick. Yep, they're blacked out. And I'm going to go with a different approach here. Sorry, I had a firewall warning pop up. That's interesting. It was just an update. No big deal. I'm going to grab a pink for her lips really fast. And I'm going to give her brown eyes. I'm going to give her pink lips. Keep it neutral. And now because of that little mark here on her chin that's going to bother me to no end, I'm going to do a little quick cover up. And that's awesome to be able to do that because of how her hairlines are thick. It's going to allow me to do that. So I'm looking for a lighter brown because knocking off my water bottle. I'm looking for a lighter brown here so that I can have some contrast with the brown in her hair and to make it look lively. So we have that going on, and I'm going to do this gray real quick on her chest for the numbers. There we go. Cool deal. All right. There. Now, for the background, I'm going to use a bright yellow. And the reason I'm doing that is because I want something that's going to make all these nice, rich, dark colors pop off the page like no tomorrow. Just hesitated there to check my card to make sure that I'm still on camera, because that would be awkward. But anyway, I'm going to hold this down because this is going to make a lot of strokes here, and I don't want it to warp the card. So I'm going to kind of set the pace here and let it dry as we go. I know my hand's blocking out a lot of the light. I'll try to tip some more over here. There we go. But I want to make sure that this one, and I'm only going with a downstroke here, by the way, but I want to make sure this doesn't warp the card as I go along. So I'm holding it and letting it bubble up because it's bubbling from the center out where I start the path. And that way it'll lay flat when it dries because it's bubbling outward. Okay, don't want that to be stuck in the paint. A little eraser dust there. And I know I'm going a different direction, but this watercolor doesn't quite bleed over like Copics do, so it won't give it that kind of, brush marked look. They're very solid and forgiving in that regard. That's why I like using them for this purpose. But they do work. They do work. Man, do they ever work. Now I'm going to go the other direction right now to help on my brush. I don't want to wear out my tip, so I'm going to be pulling this one outward. And being a southpaw, I have to consider the path of the direction of the card as well and make that work with my hand. So, yes, I am a lefty. Some people don't realize that until I point it out. And it's just, I didn't realize you were left-handed. Well, yeah, I'm not drawing this in the mirror, but that's okay. I don't take it personal. Okay, cool deal. Wow, that popped off the page. Hi, Jimmy. How's it going? Marcel, glad you made it, buddy. Just finishing this one up. And now I'm going to go in here and tone this just a little more because, like I said, I like the 60s complexion to where she's got that eggshell rose look, that rose pink look. I think this one's really phenomenal. I like this one actually better than I do the Meteor Man, and I really like the way he came out. Now I'm going to say goodbye real quick to you kids, and since it's still early enough, I'm going to hammer out another one. And just so you know what it is, It's Beastman from He-Man. We're going to be doing this one right next in about 5 minutes or so. I'm going to take a quick break and set up for that, and we are going to knock it out. So for this one, this is 2 out of the 3 of the Galaxy Trio from Hanna-Barbera's classic cartoons, and I will see you guys next time here in a few minutes. So if you're not going to be able to watch this right away and follow up, just as always, as my formal close, you guys got this big rock for a while during this crazy trip we call life. Leave it better for the next generation. Talk to you in a few.